Vinberg from distance. Oh, it's a brilliant shot from Matilda Vinberg. A rocket from the Swede. Given away by West Ham. Oh, and driven in by Olivia Halt. It's another wonderful strike from distance by Tottenham.
What a way to win a London derby against West Ham, and the massive games keep coming for Martin Ho's Spurs as we take on Chelsea on Sunday afternoon. And I'm joined in the studio by Daly, our club commentator, and Jenna Schillaci as well to go through this one. Now that was absolutely stunning, Jenna. Two brilliant goals that are worthy of winning any game.
Absolutely, two moments of magic. They come up against a really stubborn West Ham defensive line, and you felt it was going to take some spark, a bit of creativity, and we saw exactly that. Two world-class strikes.
27 shots in the end.
Yeah.
They needed, but obviously they sat in, and it did seem to need to be that kind of goal really that would win Spurs the match in the end.
You definitely feel now that sides are going to change slightly the way that they play against Spurs. They're aware that this is a side that can hurt you if you give them space.
Absolutely, and I think what we see now with this Spurs team is the players on the pitch can find a way to break those blocks down, those low blocks down. They've got the talented players out there, the players that can create those moments, and we saw that on Sunday.
How important was it to get over the line against West Ham, particularly off the back of the Liverpool result?
I think it was a huge response and a huge result for them. I think obviously with a blip against Liverpool. But yeah, to see that response and that fire, and you know, they dominated possession, created so many chances, and in the final third looked really dangerous. And as you say, if it wasn't for such a stubborn, resilient West Ham defensive backline, I think it would have been a lot more.
Yeah, unbelievable way to win it though. Should we have a little look at the table now, Rob? The thing that jumps out here straight away is that this now is so congested. Man City in a league of their own at the moment. The way that they dispatched Chelsea at the weekend was unbelievable. 11-point gap for them. But here now, the Champions League place is very much up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't know, you obviously want to be talking about process and climbing up the table and finishing in a better position as a byproduct of process. But fundamentally, there is a very realistic, direct goal that Spurs can achieve. And this is part of the reason the game against Chelsea is so exciting at the weekend, because right now, and we're going to talk about Chelsea and what happened to them with that 5-1 loss to Manchester City at the weekend that effectively ends their title defence, is that there's a chance to go above the champions and get into those Champions League positions. Spurs looking to do that for the first time. So big win at the weekend, really helps that. And it's really congested, obviously. There's a big gap then to 6. So it's between these 5 for the top 3.
And I think when you look at how tight it is, you can go back to so many different points in the season where Spurs have just nicked a point or they've nicked a result. I mean, even going back to game 1, winning against West Ham 1-0 in that opening game. There's been so many points along the way where that little bit of extra resilience has actually helped carry the team to an unbelievable spot at the moment.
Definitely. I think, they've got that never say never attitude now. They don't give up, even if, we're in the dying minutes of added time or the game. They've got that belief that they can go out there and win. And I think what we're seeing this season, which is a lot different from last season, is they're finding a way, not necessarily always pretty football, they're finding a way to get the ball in the back of the net and get the points on the board. And that's why we find ourselves in such a good position.
Yeah, it's not always pretty, but at the weekend it was absolutely stunning. The winning goal from Olivia Halt. Let's talk a little bit about her, Rob. She has been so impressive.
I think she's just one of the most fun players to watch in the WSL right now. Obviously the goal in isolation is brilliant first-time technique. That's bobbling in front of her. To just take that on is extraordinary. But she is the kind of player that's going to get young fans excited, young players wanting to play the game, because she's so direct, she's so skillful, she's so silky in possession, and she's got that weight of pass right as well.
Jenna, tell me a little bit about her in transition. She doesn't seem to be a player that is outrageously quick, but she just glides past players.
Absolutely. I think she's so effective in those tight situations. She's comfortable on both feet to get out of that pressure, and then she just drives the team forward. She glides past them. She's drives past defenders like they're not even there and wipes out 3 or 4 of the opposition players.
Yeah, and she's end product. I mean, this is the other thing. You can have players, you can do this, dribble past players. She's now end product. She got these 2 assists against Manchester United in that remarkable, what ended up sadly being 3-3 draw, but then she can score the odd stunner as she did against Manchester City. She just looks a real threat in the final third now.
This is one of my favourite goals of the season. I just love the composure there. There are so many players that will get into that sort of area and this sort of area late on in games and not have the composure to finish it. But this was just a stunning pass and a stunning finish. And what an asset to have, Jenna. The fact that you've got a player like that who might just win you a game.
Absolutely. She's huge to this team and a real creative player for Tottenham. And there you see in the dying moments, that moment to keep cool, composed in front of goal, near post corner. It wasn't an easy one to put in the back of the net, but she does. She keeps her composure and she gets the 3 points.
Drew Spence knew, didn't she? She was going to
Yeah,
score.
yeah,
She just had her arms up straight away.
The pass for me, the fact that we get on one of those angles that she just like
doesn't even look.
Actively just looks somewhere, just absolutely magic. Right, let's talk new signings because it's been a really busy window for Spurs. It's definitely, I'm trying to rack my brains and go back through the previous windows. This is certainly up there with the most active that we've ever been. Can you just try and take us through what's been a really exciting January, Jenna?
Yeah, I think it's actually first and foremost a huge statement from the club to be able to sign these players, young talent, that a lot of competition across Europe for these players. Signe Gopset obviously joined just before the Christmas break, but we got to see her in January.
Do you think that was helpful, having that just a little bit of extra time for her?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the longer you can get in and around your team before stepping on the pitch, it helps build those bonds and those connections on the pitch. But I mean, it feels like she's been in that team for ages, those connections. She's settled in straight away. And as we touched on earlier, she's taken no time at all to adapt to the WSL. I've heard Martin say that she's only probably at 40%, which is so exciting. We've got a real young talent on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go through the other players as well. I mean, Judy Blackstead has experience of the WSL already. Mike Hamano, a really shrewd loan signing, Rob.
Yeah, really good piece of business. Won't be able to play against her parent club, sadly, at the weekend. Actually spoke to Hannah Vake upon her signing. And, she was so excited to come to the football club. Yes, some of the younger players that the club have made a move for in this window might take a bit more time to get those starting positions, but it seems to have been a bit of a now and the future window for Spurs, so that's really encouraging. Yeah,
and keeping it in the family with Matilda Nilden as well.
They joined the same day, same club, so that was nice for them too, and I'm sure they've got a good kind of person to show them around the block here.
Let's talk a little bit more about Senior. She's already clearly, it's so impressive, up to the speed of the WSL. There's always a bit of a question mark over whether players will take longer or perhaps a slightly shorter time to get up to the physicality and the pace of it. Can you just tell me a little bit, Jenna, about what you've seen so far from her in terms of the way she's adapted?
Yeah, I mean, taken no time at all to adapt to the tempo and the physicality of the WSL. She's strong on the ball, she glides past players, she's got that explosive burst to leave players for dead, and here you see that composure, happy to drive into space, and then she's got that end product again, that ability to pick the pass, not panic, find the half space and bring her teammates in, and she's done it time and time again. Here you see tight spaces, she doesn't panic, she doesn't force passes, she's confident, she's always finding that extra yard to find her teammates.
Really good at bouncing opponents as well, Rob. She's very happy in 50-50s, but on top of that, just lovely weight of pass.
Well, look, there's always that question mark about when a player comes to the WSL, whether they can handle the physicality of it immediately. She's just taken to that with ease. Yes, she already has an assist in the FA Cup to her name, but you sense that first goal for the club is not too far away. I think we've seen it in the recent league matches she's been involved in. She'll be kicking herself probably about this chance to open the scoring in that defeat to Liverpool. But against West Ham, and you were commentating on this game, Jenna, as well, she had numerous chances when West Ham were being resolute and defensively solid, difficult to break down. She was one player who was getting herself into good areas.
Yeah, she was heavily involved throughout the whole game, constantly driving, causing a threat to the West Ham defensive backline, and second half she was getting her shots off from range, didn't quite connect with that one, and here you see her tenaciousness in that area. Doesn't snatch at the shot there, keeps it low and unlucky. It was a comfortable save in the end, but yeah, really positive so far from her.
Not too dissimilar from Olivia. She sort of glides with the ball, doesn't she? Yeah. It looks quite effortless.
And can play in those central areas. We're going to get onto your team selection, whereabouts you think she's going to be in the team shortly, but she likes to come inside. You see the amount of time she's the left winger, let's say, but popping up centre circle, spraying the ball out to the fullback. So, yeah, another versatile, smart, skillful forward in the Spurs ranks.
It's going to be a really exciting experience for not just these five, but a number of the players that haven't played in N17 before. So let's just check in on a couple of our players that will be experiencing Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the first time.
Nice. When she gets the man of the match, she's going to stay there.
I said after you score hat-trick. Wow.
This is sick.
This is nice.
Wow. Oh my god.
Crazy.
That's the moment.
Imagine walking out here every day.
Guys.
Look at the screen. What did it say? Guys. No. Look. Ah. That's cute.
This is amazing.
Här ska vi spilla bara.
Hat-trick.
Och du,
Tinkas hat-trick here.
och du då? 3 assist.
Ja.
Wow. Cute. Nice.
Yeah.
Fun. Amazing. No words actually. It's incredible. The best.
Yeah, it's so cool. Excited to play here.
Yeah.
Does it feel weird to think like when the stands are filled with all the fans?
Yeah. I think, but when you're on the pitch, you forget everything around.
Mm.
But it will be so nice.
And I said, imagine to score here. It would be
Crazy.
a dream. A dream. That you can hopefully make happen.
Ja, nu.
Oj, det var väldigt...
Men det, ja.
Håller längre upp.
Ja.
Men jag inte längre!
This one.
Kör riktigt
It's a big one. Yeah. Hello, this is. I needed one of this actually.
I want one also.
How's it feel?
Good, but I don't like my autograph, so it's not nice.
How did that feel, Tinka?
Very nice.
Nice. Fast.
You're officially on the wall.
Yeah. Wow. Let's take a.
Hopefully lots of amazing memories to be made this weekend and in the future at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for those players. Now let's just dive into our form over the course of the last few weeks in the WSL. And I'm almost going to block this out, Jenna, because other than that, small blip, it has been outstanding in the Super League.
Yeah, well, ignore this, the blip. These things happen. But yeah, the two that stick out for me here is the draw against Arsenal and the draw against Man United. And I think that's so important. And you're looking at a team now that are competing against the top teams in the WSL, that are taking points off of the top teams in the WSL, and the confidence that will give them going into a game like Chelsea ahead of the weekend is absolutely huge.
Yeah, massive. And Rob and I were chatting a little bit earlier on today. These are two very different games. I think in this one, you say phenomenal defensive display. And Martin, I was talking about we need to get closer to teams when the big sides or the bigger traditional sides are coming to play at our home. This one, you said, why didn't we win it? How did we not win that
3-0
game?
up. Look, I mean, there's so many of these games actually. Obviously, you go, oh, how frustrating is that? But then a goal in added time to beat Aston Villa. So they've kind of got like the West Ham game. On another day, Spurs might not have picked out those two 20-yard, 25-yard strikes to win the game. So look, it is what it is. But I think it's really encouraging that you look at these other teams that Spurs have been competing with, and Villa have tumbled down the table the last couple of weeks after the recent loss to Manchester United as well, that suddenly Spurs are competing with these other teams in the top 5.
Do these results change the way that you think about games like Chelsea this weekend? The fact that we can now mix it with the sides that have historically been up there in the WSL?
Definitely, I think it's a huge mentality shift for the players. They've got that confidence now. They know that if they go out there and perform, and every player's at their level that they know they can be, they can beat and take points off of anyone. So yeah, I think it's huge going into Chelsea this weekend.
Okay, so we are going to do your predicted 11 in a second, but I want to talk a little bit about Tinka Tandberg, who's just come back from injury. She got off to such an electric start. What does she bring to this Spurs team that perhaps other players don't?
Yeah, she's a slightly different profile to what we've got here. You see on her debut, spectacular goal. Beth England doing the hard yards, and there, just the vision, the confidence and composure, technically excellent, to the audacity really to take that on.
She'll never score a better. I mean, her debut. She'll never score a better goal than that.
I mean, the way that she whips it as well, so it's curling away from the keeper, is amazing. The lovely, like, little flicked finish there. But these are all different types of goals, Jenna.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's got it all in her locker. And I think off the ball as well, in terms of the way that she plays and what she offers out of possession. Here you see just timing her run perfectly into the box, losing the defender and carrying on her run to the back post, and there, just that composure to keep cool.
Or absolute no nonsense as well from the spot, Rob.
Yeah, and look, part of the reason you wanted to play at the weekend against Chelsea is if there is a pressure scenario, sort of convert that penalty there, that you want her on the pitch as an option maybe to take the spot kick from 12 yards. She is coming back from injury. Jenna, you commentated on the West Ham game at the weekend. She's got 20 minutes coming on for Bethany England. Did she look up to speed? Where did she kind of look from your point of view?
They're obviously building her minutes up gradually.
Yeah.
She come on, she done a job. Hold up play was good. Didn't see too much going forward, but that was credit down to West Ham and the way that they were defending the game. But yeah, I think her dark side of the game is excellent. She's not scared to put her body around. She's not scared to fight for her team. She triggers that press as well. So yeah, I mean, building her minutes up and hopefully she may be fit enough for the weekend.
That's another huge asset, Rob, when you bring a player into your side from another league, and we've spoken about the physicality of the WSL from moment
just
one.
Takes to it.
She just ducked to water, wasn't
really
she?
Encouraging and really important for Martin. Obviously, he was coming into a new group for him at the start of the season, so to have a player like that who he could instantly turn to, knew she could do a job, was really, really helpful.
And she makes it into Jenna's predicted
Yeah.
11 now. We're
going to grill you, Jenna, here.
We're going from 1 to 11 here, and we are very much standing back and letting you take the reins. So talk us through it. Go for Lisa in goal. Take us through your back four.
Yeah, I've stuck with the same back four as the weekend. I thought Blagstad on her first debut was excellent against West Ham at the weekend. I thought defensively sound, and then going forward has such an impact in that final third. Very creative, always on the front foot, ready to attack. So for me, I think she keeps her shirt there, and Rybrink again on the right hand side, and then these two in the centre. Two centre-back positions, I think they've been phenomenal. It's such a good balance. I think they complement each other so well. You've got your experience in Hunt and then Koga, who's been remarkable since joining.
Amazing seeing how they bring sides out of each other, isn't it? Really, really impressive. Now, I hold my hands up here. Rob, you're going to tell me off again, but I meddled a little bit.
You meddle every time. You did this live the other day.
This was a different six.
Yeah.
And then I just started just drip feeding little ideas of Jenna.
Yeah,
and she suddenly changed it.
Yeah, because look, the big one, Jenna, was Drew Spence got sent off late in the West Ham game. A massive loss. We've seen her vision there in some of the clips of their passing. So you believe Galpset might drop back, maybe into the midfield pairing, rather than play out on the left-hand side as we've seen?
Yeah, I think obviously Drew Spence is going to be huge loss for the team coming into this game. But I think in Galpset, you've got a player who's comfortable in playing in that number 8 role. She can complement some of them really well. And then on those moments where we are driving the team forward, she's got that composure. We've seen in the clip, she can drive the ball, she can carry the team forward, and then she's got that end product, whether it's bringing her teammates on or taking the shot on.
Okay, so if we go into this front four, we'll start with the wide players, Rob. I mean, if you're going to win a game, do it through goals like that, and they very much, you would imagine, will feature this weekend.
Yeah, scorers of screamers at the weekend. Obviously, by playing Olivia Halt out on the left-hand side, she's not really effective through the middle, but we know that she's versatile enough to play out in those positions. I mean, she's had a fantastic season now, really come to the fore over the past few months. And then, of course, Tandberg out on the right-hand side, wicked shot, top corner. Both can cut in, let's cut in, create things. And then if they've got Bethany England and Tinker Tandberg, who you believe will start, they've got real options to supply in that game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
How does this work for you in terms of Bethany England playing in that role? Maybe not an out-and-out 10, but definitely able to provide something different to Tinker?
Definitely, and it might be that they're fluid in their positions throughout the game as it goes on. But yeah, for me, I think England, she works well in that position as well. Her work rate, her desire to run for her team, to put pressure on defenders. And in turn, you've got Tandberg there who can hold the ball up, who can protect the ball on those counter-attacking moments. And then you've got runners on each side who can then link up. So yeah, I think those two working well together, if fit, could be excellent at the weekend.
Can you just tell me a little bit about how you see the approach to the game, what the game plan might be? I mean, Chelsea have got so many threats and they've got so many options in terms of the way that they could approach a game. Could play with a 3 at the back, they could play with a 4 at the back, they potentially could play with 2 out-and-out forwards or could play with wide players. It's going to be really difficult for Martin to predict what side he's going to be facing.
Definitely, and I think, with a Chelsea team coming into the game off of the back of the result they had at the weekend, it may be even more difficult to tell how they're going to come and approach this because they're going to want to change how they're set up. So I think for us, I think when you're playing against a Chelsea team, you expect not to have as much possession on the ball. You maybe got to be very resilient, very disciplined in your defending. There may be times where you are pinned back and you've got to remain resilient and switched on. But in those moments, you've got players like Gopset, you've got players like Halt and Tandberg up top who can really hurt teams on the counter-attack. So I think that will be key, staying switched on, out of possession, and then hurting Chelsea on the attack.
Yeah, particularly, Rob, if we just look at the top-line information for the game, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the pitch is massive. It only requires one little switch off or one lapse in concentration, and that can be the difference when you're playing on a pitch and at a stadium of this size.
Well, and that's it. And what state did Chelsea psychologically come into this game? And I think they've lost their first away league match in nearly 2 years the other day. It's the first time they've lost back-to-back league games in a million years. So, look, to what position of Chelsea are going? They obviously won't be in a great place because they know that game was the chance, really, wasn't it, to catch Manchester City, go to the Etihad, get beat 5-1. Are they that wounded beast that are going to come back and be angry and play with that rage, or are they in a bit all over the place? Can Spurs take advantage of that? And if Spurs win, best league result since the home win at Arsenal against Arsenal.
Against Arsenal, yeah, possibly.
So yeah, massive opportunity for the team. Hopefully the players, Jenna, see it as an opportunity to not just climb the table and put themselves further in Champions League contention, but a real statement win to beat the champions.
Definitely, and I think, you know, to play Chelsea at this moment in time, probably the best time to come up against them. But don't get me wrong, I don't think you can go up against a Chelsea team and ever think that you're going to roll them over. But I think the 3 points against West Ham at the weekend, they have a good week's training, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, a London derby. I mean, there's no better, you know, stadium for this, and to play for the badge, the new players get to feel what it is to play in a London derby. And I think, as Rob said, you don't know what mentality shift this might have on Chelsea, but I think all Tottenham can do is just concentrate on themselves, play their game, and yeah.
I mean, I think, Rob, the way you describe that is perfect in terms of it being an opportunity as well. It is such a special opportunity to go out and play a Chelsea side that may be just stumbling a little bit at the moment in the title race. If you do want to come down and watch as well, tottenhamhotspur.com/tickets, there's an opportunity to come and see some of the best players, not only in London but in the world, playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend, Sunday afternoon. The game is also on BBC Two in the UK if you do want to watch it too. Now, just finally, Jenna, we've had so many moments. It feels as though the vast majority of the time when we play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we have either a brilliant game or we create something really, really special. I just wanted to ask you, what is the one that sticks out in your mind as your favourite memory of watching us play at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium?
Yeah, I think it's the Leicester City in the FA Cup semi-final.
Good day that, wasn't it?
That was unbelievable day. In the dying moments, Martha Thomas stepped up when the team needed her the most. And yeah, I had my niece with me at the time. It was her first time at the stadium, and literally hasn't stopped talking about it since that day. So I think, the power of young fans getting in there and seeing our women, out there fighting for their badge is so inspirational.
Great atmosphere. Chelsea will have their fans there as well. It should be a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it before, Rob, as well, but there is an opportunity here for new fans to come and see it and to come and try it. And if you get a result like we did against Arsenal on that day, where Martha scored that goal as well, you're making a fan for
and
life,
I think right now the team's got so many exciting players. Like, you want to be going to see Olivia Halt play football right now, don't you? So cracking game on Sunday. Can't wait for it.
Lovely stuff. Thanks so much, you two, and good luck to Martin and the girls this weekend.